Hey y'all, it's Day. So I'm going to do a reading for us, and I'm actually going to start out with the oracle cards first again, because that was a vibe last time. So let me go ahead and do it again. You guys, make sure you let me know if you want to, like, what are your goals for yourself, or what direction are you going in life right now? What's the overarching theme, or what is the feeling that you're trying to experience or bring into your reality right now? For me personally, um, as I mentioned before, my goal is to live the slow life, a soft life, a life where I am accomplishing my goals and giving myself and my body and my spirit and my child, my inner child, the things that I love and deserve and experience. So I just want a really happy and wholesome type of lifestyle. And so you guys let me know what is it that you're trying to move toward in your life. What's ideal for you? So we could all start brainstorming on ways that we can continue to see that for ourselves long enough, and encourage each other long enough to bring that into reality. Ooh, I still feel the need to shuffle. I think it's one more. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. No. This one. Okay, so we have withdraw. Withdraw in reverse. And with that withdraw, I am feeling comforted and in like what you would call solace. We also have take risk. Soul work. Release. Nature. Ooh, we got a lot of cards. Transmute. Yeah, so I'm definitely getting vibes of someone is deciding to retreat in a way where they're not as communicative or not as active with the outside world, but more focusing on their inner selves, their inner beings, the direction of their lives. They're reflecting on who it is that they are now in comparison to the past. And they're just an outlook on which direction that they're trying to go. It feels very peaceful and very comforting. We also have transmute, versatility. We also have the pillar. So there's something, a restructuring of kind of like the foundation or the stature or the way that you continue to move or walk. It's kind of something, I'm getting an imagery of like walking with a sense of identity, a certain type of sense of identity, or like knowingness of who you are, knowingness of your value. It feels like that is what this is going to cultivate within you this act or practice or period that you're going through where you are not as active and you're more focused on yourself and asking yourself some of those deeper or more expanded questions like, what is my purpose? What makes me happy? Which direction am I wanting to go? Which direction am I being pulled to go into? And with this nature card, something about the body, something about, I'm hearing experience. And then we have the outlaw here. There's something that it feels like is in the development stages of you that is kind of getting you in a grounded position. It kind of feels like you're booting up by taking this break to be by yourself. It's like regrouping something about the character of who you are and how you move through the world in relation to the integrity of how you carry yourself, like how you value yourself now. And it's kind of like it feels like you're recharging or something by being by yourself. I'm also hearing the word meditating. So if that's something that you do, and that could look like many things, it feels like that type of practice is helping you to cultivate the character of who you are, which is going to cause you to walk differently in your life. It's going to cause you to walk, I don't know, differently. It's very interesting. And then we have this take risks here. I didn't speak on that yet. But with this take risk, it's just kind of feeling like be more colorful, be more bold, be more playful, be more outgoing, be bigger, take up space. That's the type of energy that I'm getting. Like, paint your life or something. Very interesting. And with this versatility card is real quiet right now. Like, I'm not entirely sure what it's wanting to say. Something about the soul work though, like the actual soul work. Wow. Soul work. Something, okay, so this period that you're going through where you're doing all this inner work, it's like, it feels like little do you know you're working on your soul purpose by doing this. It feels like it's the transition into, it feels kind of like whatever you're doing right now is going to help you transition into what you're going to be wanting to do for your own work, like as far as like a daily job type of work, an introduction into. Wow, very interesting. Something about your daily life feels like very interesting. I'm still trying to process this. I just saw 10:10 on the clock. I don't know what that is. So we have the seeker here. I feel that you're gaining a lot of wisdom by learning about yourself. I feel like you're also learning about different ways of sensing, or like as far as intuition, like something about like realizing, having wisdom in your intuition. You're gonna know what to do, or you're gonna know what move to make because of this practice, this daily practice. It's going to allow you, sometimes we feel directionless or lost in life, and it's just like, I don't know what to do. But with this practice I'm seeing, it's gonna help your overall being to kind of feel, you're gonna be able to feel more easily that pull, that natural pull of the direction of your life. Wow, that's pretty cool. So we have the wielding. The wielding, this is something that we're developing and cultivating. And this is something that happens naturally with the work. With the work. Underworld. Exactly. So the underworld is representing like, kind of like, if you're familiar with shadow work, working with aspects of yourself that you may have thrown away, maybe because of societal disapproval, parental disapproval, friend group disapproval. Maybe it wasn't welcome, it wasn't taught, maybe it naturally feels uncomfortable. Maybe we learned how to operate in a particular way, and this way feels very unnatural. Addressing those type of themes, that's what I'm seeing, that this daily practice that you're doing is going to be helping with that. And then we have the observer, and guess what other card we got? Shadow. Shadow work, shadow work. Let me know, you guys, in the comment section if you guys are familiar with shadow work already. You already know what that is. Or if you're not, let me know if you're thinking about starting doing shadow work, or if you've already started. And if you have already started, give me an idea of like where you are. And you don't have to get too personal or too deep or anything like that, but just let me know. So the observer and the shadow. So yeah, all of this is talking about our daily lives, being in solitude and feeling comfortable with that, and asking ourselves those bigger questions. But also, it's funny that this take risk card came out upright directly underneath this withdrawal. So this is not just withdrawal like in a way like of exclusion of anyone. It's just more like a respect, boundaries, a recharge type of theme. And I just saw 1414 on the clock, if that's anyone's numbers. So yeah, so this is not like to separate ourselves from society or to be antisocial. But I thought it was funny that take risk card came out underneath the withdrawal, because that take card did mention about being more colorful, being more outgoing, being more taking up space, being more active. So we're definitely still being encouraged to engage, but keeping in mind that underworld, those shadow aspects of ourselves. So we're being called to try to be the light, try to practice what it is that we are preaching in our outer world while we're working in our inner world and asking ourselves those deeper questions. But also being proud of who we are and feeling bold to showcase that, even when it may feel uncomfortable, or even when it may feel unsafe, or you might be in those situations where you feel like you could be judged or you could be taken wrong. If it's something that you feel like is you're being called to do. And that's why that oops, what card was that? Maybe I'll put it back. That card came out saying like to get more familiar with your intuition, where you're more sensitive because you've taken time to slow down and meditate and do all those things. So you're more sensitive and you can feel more strongly those intuitive pulls in which direction that we're being led or being called to go into. So yeah, that's quite beautiful. I want to pull from the tarot, but I'm still feeling pulled to continue to shuffle. Reflect came out on top, directly on top of that underworld. Reflect on those deeper, darker aspects of ourselves that might feel a little bit more uncomfortable. Reflect on our interactions with others as well. I'm also hearing the word accommodating. Oh. I just did a reading where we were talking about a past loved one came through to tell us how beneficial being patient is, or like what it feels like energetically. And that was really a gift that I got to feel that feeling. And I described it basically as like, imagine you being late and rushing in someone, you know, where they could have been mad, they weren't, and they were actually very gracious to you. That feeling of relief that you would get, that's what it felt like, but it felt very intense. And I said that it also felt like its own currency. Like, I don't know, it just felt like grace. Like I said, like, say you're late for an interview, and we all know that's a no-no, but something like really just happened, and that interviewer still gave you a chance, and they didn't even really try to make you feel bad for it. I don't even know if that exists, but like, that's kind of like the feeling, like that feeling like, wow, thank you so much for being patient with me. I really appreciated it, and I realized that I didn't even really deserve it, but thank you for that. And the way that it made me feel was kind of like, damn, I need to work on being more patient, because I didn't realize the impact of patience, or the value in having patience or grace towards someone. So that was kind of like, I was like, cause I be delivering these messages, y'all, but I'm still trying to do these things myself, that these messages are coming through. So that's why I love to share these readings, because it helps me, and I hope that it helps you as well. But yeah, that kind of made me a little, I was like, okay, I need to set the bar a little bit higher, I see. Yeah, so then we have self-love in reverse. And we have the death card. Oh my gosh. Woo. Okay, so definitely a transformation, definitely a change, definitely some form of adjustment will be called upon. This is not necessarily a bad thing or anything like that. Of course not. Like, it's never gonna be bad. But it's just like, wow, some kind of change. Some kind of, I feel like kind of a little nervous energy, or a stepping out of the comfort box or something. Feeling a little bit exposed as well. It feels uncomfortable. I just heard putting yourself on the line. So this putting yourself on the line feeling is kind of feeling like putting yourself at risk to maybe take up for someone else that's under fire. That's kind of what it feels like. Or to associate with someone that maybe other people that you associate might feel some type of way about. That discomfort of, like, you know, that the friend group, everybody else is laughing about, everybody else think it's so funny, but you're like, actually, you guys, it's not that funny. Or going in a different direction. I'm feeling very like discomfort, and I'm also feeling like an encouragement, where I'm feeling courage coming through with that. And I'm also hearing enlightenment, but something about that, I feel like I'm being upgraded in a way where it's like I have more confidence in myself, because I can leverage myself a sense of self-security to someone else. It's kind of like, and this is not to tell anybody to do anything that they're gonna regret, because you definitely want to have discernment with who you take up for, since that's the example that's coming through. But it does feel like, oh, okay, yeah, it feels like sometimes we don't realize how powerful we are. I had an example, which was like, I had went to the emergency room, and I was waiting in the waiting room or with everyone, and I guess one of the other patients, it was this elderly lady, they were sending her home, like they were discharging her, and she was in the wheelchair, but she was waiting for the taxi to take her home. And this lady was like, I'm in so much pain. And the receptionist was ignoring her. There were a couple of other workers that they just walked past her, like they didn't even see her. And this lady is like literally slouching over in the wheelchair, to the point where me and this other lady who were just waiting in the waiting room, we were feeling uncomfortable, and we were kind of like, should we catch her, because like this lady's about to fall. And of course, this is during COVID and everything, and I don't like touching people anyway, but I was kind of like, I felt very uncomfortable, and of course not equipped. I'm not a medical person. Like, I don't know how to tend to this lady. I don't, I know older people are fragile, and she looked kind of fragile. So it's just like, I also don't want to like touch her because of COVID. I don't know if she has COVID either. And I don't want to make her sick, and I don't want to hurt her, or I don't know that I could even catch her. Like, I don't know, cause like this lady was really about to fall out of her wheelchair, and like the receptionist was just basically ignoring her. But I did feel uncomfortable like saying anything, because at the same time, because I was like, what is going on? But then I went to the receptionist. I was like, this lady needs help, blah 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 blah. And it kind of, I'm getting that kind of sentiment with this reading. It's kind of like something where you're like, should I intervene? Should I go tell the receptionist? Like, does she not see? It's like that period of like, And that's why intuition had came up earlier in regards to this daily practices that you're doing, because like I said, it's when you get in touch with your body, you're eating things that are not causing your body harm, you're meditating, getting fresh air, reevaluate. I mean, it could look like a million ways, whatever peace is for you. But when you're doing that on a daily basis, it helps that intuition within you, that gravitational pull to and towards certain things in your life, it gets stronger. So you become more able to identify which direction in life you want to go. So I thought that was extremely significant that this death card and the self-love card came out in reverse, because I believe that that's what it's speaking to. That confidence that you're going to be transformed through this shade of self-love that's coming through in a way that may feel unnatural to you. By cultivating and continuing to practice those higher responses, not being so reactionary, trying to slow things down a little bit, practicing that so that you can practice that patience. Yeah, so that's what this is saying. The observer, being more the observer, being more patient, more gracious. Whew, that's a lot. I'm definitely gonna have to listen to this again for myself. That's quite beautiful. That's quite beautiful. Let me make sure there's nothing else, because I feel like this reading is coming to a close. Did y'all see that? Like, I said, let me go ahead and pull the oracles first. I didn't even get to the tarot. Like, the oracles had lots to say, obviously. Okay, thank you. Okay, now I feel like that's the cards. Okay, so we have the sovereign. Again, by doing these practices and getting in tune with who you are and the power and authority that you have within yourself, that's what's being cultivated right now with your practices. Your own sense of sovereignty. You know who you are. You know the general direction that your life is going, and you know that by the clarity of your values, the clarity of your intention. We also have the alchemist. Alchemy can happen in these moments where we're giving grace and we're taking a couple of extra seconds to be more patient and gracious towards others. We're learning how to transmute our inner emotions that sometimes can come out or blurt out. And we have the weaver. And with this weaver, it's a sword, and the sword can speak to truth and direction, thoughts and intention. And it feels like this type of practices is going to speak to the trajectory of your life. These type of practices can elevate us. And don't get me wrong, I don't want this channel to be only about like elevating and getting better, because we have all different types of messages that are going to be coming through. But it is also important. It is also important. We have ancestors, which came out in reverse. Oh, this is so beautiful. So we got the creator in reverse. And it's just like, don't forget about us, include us too. And we have share wisdom. So I don't want to offend anyone, but if you are into that, that you still like to celebrate and acknowledge your ancestors or past loved ones, I'm definitely seeing that coming through, to include your idea or your experience of the universe, God, the creator, and how that moves in your life. We can see how that moves in our lives in many different ways and aspects. And a part of that can be, just starting off with admiring nature taking the time to look at the sky, look at the moon, look at the trees, breathe in the air. Wow. So, if you will allow it, our ancestors can provide us with wisdom, encouragement, peace, and the Creator as well. If we are, vulnerable enough to ask for help, that can be provided as well. And something about this sharing wisdom is kind of the understanding of that relationship, that communication, that dynamic is going to be very powerful for you, for us, for everyone. So yeah, that was such a beautiful reading. I loved that. You guys let me know in the comment section if this reading reached you or what aspects of the reading really stuck with you. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I love you. Bye.